So the final question I have on the smart QA for you, Anuj, is, well, in this digital age where we've got machine learning, AI tools, stacks, all the fancy stuff, what do you believe is the role of human intellect in QA? Is it still required?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I'd like to answer this with an analogy. Playing chess is often associated, with a great deal of mystique as someone having a great deal of intelligence, right? I think anyone who plays chess, there is an association of intelligence with that. I was reading this biography, not biography, I think there's a book which is written by Garry Kasparov, who was the world champion in chess for a long time. He wrote a very insightful book called as Deep Thinking, and in he captures a part of his journey, and what he talks about is that he decided to play computers for the first time, despite being a world champion, on a public stage in 1980s, I think around 1984-85, and that was the first match was a walkover. I think he just the first series he won without much effort, and that kind of proved that humans are still superior to the computers. And occasionally after that he played a few public matches and all that till around 1988 and 1989. I think that computer was called as Deep Blue, which eventually managed to beat Kasparov, and people after that starting writing obituaries for Kasparov, his skill as a chess player, and also of chess as a sport. And guess what, like, we are 20 years from that time, and we have a champion, Magnus Carlsen, who is like winning almost everything which chess has to offer, and a lot of people are terming him as a great chess player of all time. And what happened, right? I think if you rewind this whole sequence of things, so first humans fought with the machines and won, and machines kept getting better, and then machines were able to beat humans at that time. And then we are at a stage where, especially in a sport like chess, where machines and humans are, Magnus Carlsen, Viswanathan Anand, they all use computers to augment their already supernatural abilities that they have, and machines and humans are working together to make the whole sport better, and a lot of with a lot of invincibility, and a lot of new players are also emerging. So that this really tells a lot of story of what is going to happen in the existing professions as well. So whereas role of human intellect is not going to go down in any way, whereas what will happen is, with all the automation that is happening, in my hypothesis, it will return more time back to the human beings, and it is up to the human beings to utilize that time to make them more better at what they do, their professions. And interestingly, from what I have read and observed, like, machines don't need to mimic human beings to get better than them. If you look at aeroplanes, they don't need to flap their wings. They just, helicopters don't need wings at all. So they will find numerous ways to get better than what we do. I think the engines replacing bullock cart was another example. So we don't need to have someone pushing the engine like a bullock used to do earlier. So I think that in order to stay relevant, I guess human intellect is going to be really important. Even from QA standpoint, I believe it is a very important for QA professionals to adapt QA more as a mindset than a department. I'll give you an example. I think I was sometime back interacting with one of the departments in my organization which takes care of FedRAMP certification. So FedRAMP certification are security certifications which are needed to sell to the federal government in the US. And if you look at the structure of FedRAMP certification, it is there is a criteria that has to be stringent criteria that has to be met, and the people who do these certification for you are the people who are well read and well aware of the criteria and what happens around it, and they follow the procedure as well as apply their knowledge to certified. And if you look at the QA profession, I think they do a lot a QA person will do in a different context, but they are not called as QA engineers. They are called as the enabler of certification or whatever it is. So I do feel that QA people should be using their intellect to enhance the QA mindset and apply that in while going in different direction. That QA mindset is not going to get extinct. Maybe department may get overhauled depending upon the way the different organizations think about the value of it.
It's a very nice way to put it, because certainly there is a massive disruption that is occurring across all facets of our job and what we do in functions. And so therefore people take the more easier, simpler way of thinking, oh, maybe if I know tools, I'll survive.
Yeah.
But it's not just the tools. I think it's more like a symbiotic relationship that we want to establish.
Right.
But more importantly, I think what you said was change the fundamental mindset.
Yes. I
exploit machines, to do faster and obviously do better.
Yes.
On this note, thank you so much, Anuj.